You've got a friend in me. Indeed, Toy Story 5 has now dropped their first trailer. And while I understand there have been a lot of people skeptical, a lot of people questioning whether they should even make a Toy Story 5 after how great Toy Story 4 ended everything. But remember, when they were announced, Toy Story 2 said, why are you're just going to ruin Toy Story? And then they did Toy Story 2, which was amazing, glorious, one of the greatest films ever made. Then they announced Toy Story 3, and everybody was like, why are you doing another one? You're running this into the ground. You're overdoing it. Toy Story 2 ended perfectly. And Toy Story 3 just ended up being the best film of the franchise. Got nominated, only the third animated film in cinematic history to be nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. So they did number 3. Then they announced number 4. And once again, everybody said, oh, why are you doing number 4? Why are you going back? You're going to ruin it, blah, blah. Number 4, while I don't think as good as number 3, 94% audience rating, 96% critic rating, and made over $1 billion at the box office. And then they announced number 5. And they said, but why are you doing a 5th one? Number 4 ended it up perfectly. Like Woody moved on and blah, blah. Same thing. This is a broken record. We've done this dance 1,000 times before. What was the franchise says this has all happened before, it'll all happen again?
Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, yes, that's right. How did I forget that? It's happened before, it'll happen again. And on and on and on. So there have been a lot of people who have been skeptical about Toy Story 5. And listen, even I was like, hey, who knows? Who knows how it's going to be? But as far as I'm concerned, they've killed it every time. So until they drop the ball, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Because they have always delivered when it comes to Toy Story. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. According to Variety, brand new trailer drops today. Toy Story 5 trailer, Woody and Buzz reunite to save kids from technology devices. Woo. And listen, we all kind of knew going in that the kind of overall premise of this one was the idea of traditional toys now versus the technology toys. And that was going to kind of be the setup, which is a perfect theme for this, which is why they said they greenlit it to do it. So they came up with this excellent idea that they thought had depth and meaning to it, and they're going to try it. And you know what, Rob? I don't have kids. So my opinion on child raising is completely irrelevant. But that's never stopped me from giving my opinion anyway. There's a line in this trailer that literally made me reach for the mouse and press pause on the trailer. And it's when, what's the cowgirl's name again?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I can't remember the cowgirl's name. Anyway.
Cowgirl.
So Jessie was her name. Preet in the live chat was the first one to give us the right name. Jessie goes up to the little iPad-like toy. I think it was a lily pad. Is that what it was called?
Yes.
And says, hey, we've been trying to get their kid's name to play with other kids. And you're just making her stay inside and staring at you. And then that hit me and the trailer kept going. And I eventually reached over and hit pause on the trailer. And the truth of that statement really hit me. And I thought, if they can make this movie as profound as that line just felt, because really think about when I was a kid, yes, I would play with toys by myself, but it was also the best when my other friends brought over their Transformers or GoBots or whatever, and we get to play with our toys together. Or they'd bring their toys over, I'd bring my things over there, or whatever, and they actually encourage social interaction. Today, Ann and I play a little game. Honestly, this is true. Play a little game. We go into a restaurant. At some point, we'll look around, and inevitably, we'll find a table in a restaurant with a couple of couples or a group of friends, and they're not talking to each other. They're all doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all do it, but it's especially true of kids. Our friends have a kid, and it's like the whole time we were over there, she had like her own iPad-like device. It might have been a Kindle, whatever. And just the whole time, just planted firmly in that thing, not interacting, not socializing, whatever. Now that just happened to be her time of day. Our friends are really good parents. They actually schedule when she's allowed to be on the thing and not. That being said, I just remember this whole thing about how the toys throughout all of Toy Story, while sometimes they have to fight to save themselves and all kind of thing, they're always, their number one concern is their kid. Whether it was Andy or whether it was blah, 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 the name of the new kid, the new girl, keep forgetting her name. Their number one priority is always the kid. What makes Andy happy? What makes Bonnie Bonnie? What makes Bonnie happy? And what's best for Andy? And what's best for Bonnie? And when Jesse says that, like, we've been trying to get her to play with other kids and blah, blah. And the technology is like actually isolating the child. I thought in just that one little simple line, I found that to be so profound. And I'm like, if this is what Toy Story does, and let's face it, that's what Toy Story always does. They find that thread of something that's really deep and profound, and they explore it when it relates to the idea of childhood and how we as adults view it. I'm like, yeah, this trailer works. But I'll be honest with you, Rob. When I watched the trailer and I was completely moved by it and I thought it looked great, I still thought in the back of my head, nobody else is going to like this. But to my surprise, I've been looking at the reactions around and everybody seems to agree. This is a really good trailer. Again, doesn't mean automatically the movie's going to be great. It doesn't mean that at all. But the trailer is really, really quite good. And I was surprised to find myself how excited I was to get back into that room and see the toys again. And I also love Woody's bald spot. I don't care. I love Woody's bald spot. And hearing Rex going, extinction again. Like just the little lines and the cuteness and the adorable of it with something really profound at the same time. So I personally loved it. I really did. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Factor. Cold days, packed schedules, and let's be honest, when February hits, staying on track with eating well gets tough. And that's why I love Factor. Factor makes eating healthy deliciously easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs so you can eat well without the planning, shopping, or cooking. One of my main go-to meals lately is their high protein options. You're getting quality functional ingredients like lean proteins, colorful vegetables, whole foods, and healthy fats. Plus, they have over 100 rotating weekly meals, including Calorie Smart, Mediterranean, GLP-1 support, ready-to-eat salads, and even their new Muscle Pro collection for strength and recovery. Everything arrives fresh, never frozen, and is ready in about 2 minutes. All that and more is why I highly recommend Factor. Head to factormeals.com/Campea50off and use the code Campea50off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Eat like a pro this month with Factor. New subscribers only, varies by plan. One free breakfast item per box for 1 year while subscription is active. Rob, you and I have not talked about this at all, but you saw the Toy Story 5 trailer. What did you think about it?
I was really surprised by it too. I thought the trailer looked great, but like you were pointing out, I mean, you know, I think about this a lot because a lot of the Toy Story films have been about that transition. You know, are you outgrowing your toys? How are you going to be when you grow up? What does it all mean? I mean, that's definitely an underlying to all the movies. And it looks like, I mean, to add the technology and the pad and the screens, you know, one of the things I think is such a strange thing about today, and I see this because Elizabeth's 2 daughters, you know, I've been with them half their lives, that when we were kids, John, as you pointed out, we went out and did things. Like nobody stayed home. If you're staying home, I mean, you could still play a video game or something, but they weren't that sophisticated when I was a kid. They didn't hold you certainly didn't have Ghost of Tsushima or Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
So video games were not as compelling as they are now. They didn't have like MMORPGs or whatever. And you learned things when you were out with your friends. You went and rode your bikes places. You went into the woods. You played army. And there was a whole different set of circumstances and things that you were, you know, your parents would tell you to come back home when the lights came on or when the sun went
when the
down.
street lights come on, that's when you had to come home.
You know, you were out and you were navigating the world with your friends. No one was telling you had your own secret life. Nobody was telling you what to do. And nowadays, I feel like they're no longer LIVIN. You know, they're not having, they're just at home doom scrolling or playing video games, and they're kind of in their own heads. But I think people have really missed out on life in a way. And that seems to be what this movie is addressing. You know, how childhood has totally changed. And the fact is, the thing about the toys is they represent imagination. You know, they represent a child having, first of all, the toys coming to life is an imaginative idea. But this idea that to play is to be engaged in using your imagination, your creativity, but to be staring at a screen is not. So they're once again, they're addressing it from a different angle. And I'm excited to see where they take it.
By the way, one of our viewers in the live chat, Adam Hayes, wrote something in here that I thought is actually really interesting. This is a very present issue with Spain and Australia passing laws restricting minors on social media. Now, I don't think those countries are restricting or passing laws to restrict social media for minors to get them to go outside and play more.
Yeah.
The dangers of social media is more part, but it's true. And the whole idea of like, technology can be such a great way. Like I still remember the origins of Facebook. It was a great way to stay connected to people.
Right.
Especially for me, I moved out of, Ontario, and I lived in Saskatchewan for a while. That was like 1,000 miles away. It's like social media and stuff like that was a great way to stay connected, but ultimately it evolved into such a thing that now it's something that keeps us isolated, and especially with children. And I think this is a really interesting thing. A buddy of mine had his first daughter, and I remember him wrestling with the idea of, when I was a kid, I had one or two toys and they were the center of my world. And I'm worried about now giving my kid tons of toys, because then none of them might become special to them, and wrestling with that. And that was just before like iPads started coming out. And it's like, now that question would be intent, because I think iPads can be great for kids, educational, get them adapted and become natural using technology. I think there is great stuff with that. And for an hour to keep them occupied. I think there's absolutely great uses for it. But at the same time, again, as somebody who's not a parent, I don't have a valid opinion, but the idea of still making sure they actually have real toys and ways and avenues to interact with other kids and to be social. Anyway, this is getting into stuff that's way beyond my pay grade. I just want to say I love the trailer. I thought it was great. So question is for you guys. Did you see the Toy Story 5 trailer? If so, what did you think? Maybe it didn't move the needle for you, or maybe you like me and it was like really quite impressive. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.